Over the past few rounds, Ferrari has experimented with a range of updates in a bid to overturn Mercedes' late season advantage, and made a return to form as Kimi Raikkonen took victory in Austin. However, it's not been plain sailing for the Scuderia, which has suffered through a phase of hit-and-miss upgrades since the summer break. In Singapore, Ferrari arrived with a brand new rear wing, complete with a strake design built into the end plates, not dissimilar to the concept initially pioneered by McLaren last season. The key behind this solution is to change the pressure distribution over the wing, increasing the effective span and hence increasing downforce, an ideal scenario for street circuit conditions, where downforce is vital. Due to the nature of the strakes, some vorticity can be expected, which introduces extra drag into the equation, but presumably Ferrari felt it was worth the compromise. The barge boards were also reworked ahead of Singapore, bringing them in line with the higher downforce requirements of the Marina Bay circuit. This was done through reprofiling the cutout elements along the top edge, creating a change in the flow characteristics to develop some extra downforce around the floor. For Russia, Ferrari retained the Singapore rear wing and augmented its package with a new front wing design. One of the key changes here was the new footplate geometry, which opens up further back from the leading edge of the wing. This should offer greater stability when managing the resultant vortices created, with an additional slot to improve the outwash generation of the wing to direct flow around the front wheels. The new wing also includes a new top flap, which is noticeably less curved than its predecessor and is designed to link up with a new set of turning vanes to direct airflow around the floor. However, performances in Singapore and Russia were lacking and led to Ferrari asking questions about the upgrades it had introduced. Practice in Japan proved to be the pinch point, and Ferrari used simulator sessions back at base in Maranello to determine correlation with its on-track findings. After a review, the Singapore introduced rear wing was dropped, with the end plates believed to compromise the car's straight-line performance. Raikkonen also tested new rear suspension geometry in Russia and Japan, but Ferrari elected not to run it beyond practice. An addition to the brake duct was also made, with a horizontally mounted fin assisting with flow management from the front wing. This was kept on the car through the weekend, and retained in Austin. Suzuka practice was also used to test a new floor, increasing the span of the final slot to help fold air around the rear wheel, but this proved to be susceptible to blockage from tyre debris and was ultimately shelved. It was updated ahead of Austin, trialled with 3 sets of fins to promote greater outwash production and provide some protection from tyre marbles. Adding to those updates trialled in Texas, barge boards were modified with more intricate strakes on the leading edge, modifying the vortex structures and adding a new turning fin to improve airflow around the surface of the floor. Due to adverse weather conditions, the Austin updates were put on ice, as no significant dry weather running could be done to verify any effect on performance. With a collection of discarded upgrades and others proving inconclusive, it means that Ferrari still has some unravelling to do before Mexico, if it's to retain its form from the previous round. The battle of technical wits at the front of the field continues, and Mercedes made modifications to its novel wheel rim design in order to counter a possible protest from Ferrari. The design, which features a scalloped rim to improve heat dissipation, also featured a number of small holes to blow air through the wheel assembly, but these were modified by Mercedes ahead of the Austin race in a bid to avoid a potential protest from Ferrari on a weekend where Lewis Hamilton could have wrapped up the World Championship. Mercedes suffered issues with its tyre temperatures throughout the Austin weekend, suggesting that these tweaks could have potentially hindered the team as it lost out to both Ferrari and Red Bull in the race.